Well, it works for popcorn. Let's see if it'll work for green coffee beans. So I've got this air popper, West Bend I think is the brand, cheapest one I could find on Amazon. And I'm going to use this as my coffee roaster. The beans I got also off Amazon. These are from Nicaragua, and green unroasted beans. I'll try roasting them in here. Here's what the beans look like. Now, everything I've read about this process says there's going to be a lot of chaff and there's going to be a lot of smoke, and you should do it outside. But I have my cameras all set up in here, so I'm going to try doing it indoors. First of all, I'm just going to add in the beans up to the max fill line. Now I'm going to give these a stir once I start this machine up, and I'm going to be listening for first crack and then trying to time this so that I stop before second crack, because I want a medium roast. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I have my timer here. So let's give this a go. So basically, almost all of the beans had already popped out before they'd had time to roast. I think I need to add more beans, which should weigh them down a little bit. I've read online that 3/4 of a cup is a good amount, so that's what I'm going to add. So this is much higher than the max fill line that's intended for popcorn. Hopefully that means that the beans will stay in here and not be popping out. Take two. Now what I've ended up with here is a very uneven roast. I've got some really nicely sort of medium roasted beans in here, and then alongside that I have some really dark ones too. I think this is usable. In aggregate, probably you're going to get a sort of a blend if you crush some of these up, but the popcorn machine was really struggling with the load, and when there was so much smoke, I wasn't sure if it was the smoke from the roasting or the smoke from the popcorn machine motor. So I'm going to try this again with kind of a middle ground of 1/2 cup of beans. I killed it. Oh dear. Now these beans are not ready to make coffee just yet. They need to degas, get the CO2 out. I have one of these little coffee containers here. It actually has a little port to degas, so the CO2 comes through here. So I'm just going to pour these in, and I'm going to leave them here for a few days, probably about 5 days, before actually trying them in a brew. It's been 5 days, so time to crack these open and see if I can make a palatable cup of coffee from these beans. Smells like coffee. Hey, tastes like coffee too. I wondered if those dark roasted beans, the beans that got a little bit overburnt, were gonna just mean the whole thing was gonna be super roasted. But no, not at all. This is more of a sort of a medium roast coffee. The bag of beans says to expect a little bit of a citrus flavor. I'm not sure I'm really getting that. So maybe I over roasted beyond the sort of citrusness of the beans, but very smooth, not at all bitter, very drinkable coffee. I like that. Now, if you want to see what I'm going to do with this coffee next, which is to use it in a beer, well then check out this video. Oh, and by the way, the popcorn machine never really recovered.